This is a Headgum podcast.
No rap.
We can discuss, give me your truth, it never fails.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Lil Rel. Right now, you're tuning into Keepin' It Real with
Young Wayne.
That's right. We got a special guest in the building, man. This dude right here is a writer, actor, director, producer, DJ, father, husband, cousin.
Okay.
I really don't know if he's an uncle.
Cousin is my biggest accomplishment, actually. Just being a cousin, like, you know.
Everybody's cousin, especially in Chicago. But you've seen him on Southside, Sherman Showcase, Marlon. He's probably written some of the things you've seen and that you've laughed at. Emmy-nominated writer, actor, producer, showrunner, and moonlighting DJ. Diallo Riddle's in the building, y'all. Give it up for Diallo. Diallo. What up, though? What up?
But I already said DJ, so it's weird that you said it.
Moonlighting DJ.
What is a moonlighting DJ, Wayne?
No, let's ask Diallo.
It's somebody who, you know, can't live off the DJ money. You know what I mean? Like, the DJ money is minuscule.
Wait, did you put that in your own bio, moonlighting?
Yeah, moonlighting DJ, yeah.
That's how I know you're a writer. Because I wouldn't even know. I think you could throw moonlighting on anything you don't get paid for. Like, yeah, I'm a moonlighting.
I was also a big fan of Moonlighting, the show, so, you know. Just gonna put that out
So
there.
I remember watching Moonlight with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd, and I watched with my mom, but I
There you
never
go.
really understood what it was about.
It was a
Were they
will they or
detectives?
won't they? Yeah, they were detectives. They had the Moonlighting Detective Agency. And but you know, I actually started watching that because Shannon Smith in my 7th grade class told me that she liked the show, and so you know, I wanted something to talk to her about. Like most of my early, you know, pop culture was because I wanted to get with some girls. So
That's funny. Most of the
Yeah, I'm
stuff
about to say.
I watched like that was because of my mama, because she watched Knots Landing, Dallas.
what was Knots Landing about? That was just a soap opera, right?
It was those evening soap operas, and so like Moonlight had the same type of energy in a way.
I think so, except that I feel like Moonlighting was like, it's kind of like, I grew up in Atlanta, and to me, Moonlighting looked like Los Angeles. Like, it looked like, you know, fancy cars, nice restaurants, you know what I mean? Like, so when I was watching, I was just like, oh, that's what LA looked like? It was that, and it was The Lost Boys. You know, The Lost Boys was another, you know, something that made me, because my family's from out here, so, like, it reminded me that I had family on the West Coast.
Did you grow up out here?
No, I grew up in Atlanta, but I was number 6 of 6, and the other 5 kids grew up out here.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you are from Atlanta for real?
Yeah, for real.
Interesting. And so it's weird because now your family's almost split to where y'all from, like with your siblings.
Yeah. I mean, like, they moved to Atlanta. I mean, when they moved to Atlanta, man, like, they wore jeans and not skirts. You know what I mean? Like, Atlanta, you forget, Atlanta didn't really change until the 90s. Like, when they got there, like, in the mid-70s, like, because I'm way younger than my other, you know, siblings. They were like, you know, everybody still went to church. Like, my family's always been a little bit like, you know, not agnostic, but like, we just don't go to church a lot. So like, everybody would just, you know, say, y'all ain't saved. You know, like, why y'all wearing jeans?
The devilish riddles.
Why is your name so close to Diablo? Like, you know, like, I caught hell growing up.
I actually
caught
want
a
to
lot of
ask
hell.
about Diallo, the origin of it. And
It should be pronounced Diallo. It's a West African name. My parents just, you know, they named me Diallo Amir. And, you know, Riddle. And, you know, I just didn't want to be called Jello. So I started telling people my name was Diallo.
okay.
And,
Okay. So your name is Jallo.
my name is technically Jallo.
Oh.
Jalo
It's
sounds so
a
much
Fulani
cooler.
name.
I like
It's a Fulani
Jalo.
name.
You should go back to Jalo.
Yeah, come on
Too
up,
late.
Jallo.
Like
It's
right
too
now.
late, man.
It's never
You
too
almost
late.
sound like Jello just now, so, you know, I just can't.
Nah, Jallo is
It's
real
too
cool.
late in the
actually.
game, man.
Yo, Jalo.
And it means bold.
It means bold.
Okay.
You look that up.
Man, hey, man, you know,
I appreciate that, man. Not many people know. My name means Bold Prince Riddle.
Wow,
Why
bold.
the fuck you don't want to use that? That sounds so much cooler. Like,
That'd be my rap name, Bold Prince.
And you used it as a
Jallo.
pickup line in college.
Huh?
Used it as a pickup line in college?
Not a pickup line. Wow, you really did your research.
There you go.
this nigga, he's researching his ass off, ain't he?
Wow.
Right. We here to keep it real here. Keep
No, I
it
love
real.
it. I love it. No, it was actually my campaign slogan. So when I ran for student government, my poster just said Diallo. It's like Diablo without the B. So even then, I was using comedy to try and, like, you know, get people on board with it. And yeah, I won.
So you were picking up people though to join.
Yeah,
you were picking up
exactly.
people.
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah, for real.
All right, there you go.
So with that, like, how did you get into comedy? Like you know, I came through the stand-up route, right?
Which
Wait,
I admire, man.
The coffee is here. You can drop that coffee right on that table. We've been waiting on this coffee. Just blur. It's gonna just blur you out. It's gonna be a hand just walks in.
Shout out.
Ooh, that's hot.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Oh, that's some good coffee there. Those beans came from I don't know. Seattle beans, just for you. You the first guest that has coffee delivered to him in person in front of everybody. With a little water on the cup, which I don't know if she just washed it out and then did it, but cool.
Me and Bashir, we started off as sketch writers. Like, we started off in sketch comedy. You know what I'm saying? And I always admired, I don't even know how stand-up comedy, what y'all do is a completely different muscle. Like, I don't know how you get up in front of like 30, 40, 1,000 people and just talk. Like, that's amazing to me. Like, I'd much rather get out there with like, a story, a joke, wigs, costumes,
right.
ridiculous glasses, like, and do that. But like what y'all do is amazing to me. Like,
that's interesting too. Real quick, where did you and Bashir meet? I mean, look, once again, I don't do any research. Just everybody knows. Any guest that comes on here,
we met at Harvard. We were in a singing group called Kumbah Singers. It was a spiritual group. It was a gospel group. And Bashir was raised Muslim, and I was raised, kind of like, and so we
But how did y'all start a gospel? So wait.
No, we didn't start it.
Y'all joined a gospel
group. We joined a gospel
But what made
group.
him join a gospel group?
Because we both like singing. We both like to sing.
What did his family think of him? Like, I gotta ask him that. That's interesting. It's like, you did what? Yeah, I joined a gospel group.
Because, Bashir, he was raised Muslim, but he doesn't necessarily like pray 5 times a week, pray 5 times a day. You know what I mean? Like, and for me, like, I think we were just kind of like outsiders within the community. You know what I'm saying? So like, we realized early on, we both like The Simpsons. We both like, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. We like The Muppets. And we just realized that we liked a lot of the same comedy stuff. Yeah.
That's funny, because one of my good friends, which I think The Simpsons brought together a lot of people. In high school, I met my friends because one day we just talked about a Simpsons episode.
Which one?
That we thought was funny. It was...
You remember?
It's the Dr. Sayers one. When
of course, yeah.
Like, Dr. Sayers, Dr. Sayers, Dr. Sayers, Dr. Sayers. When they redid Planet of the Apes as a musical.
Exactly. That's a great one.
Get your hands off me, you dirty ape. He can talk. I can sing. Yeah, it's crazy.
I think for us, it was the Bobo episode. It was the one where this little toy doll like gets passed around and Mr. Burns. So like we were definitely like in that Simpsons mode. And to this day, if you bring up the Simpsons in the writers' room, we're probably gonna try and work in an homage into the episode.
Yo, it's so many random funny things in the Simpsons. It's so many things you was introduced to in the Simpsons outside of just comedy. It's like also was the first thing me and my dad laughed at together. Actually, was the Simpsons, which is crazy that the Simpsons Christmas episode. If people remember it, because it came from the Tracy Ullman show, but that Jingle Bell, Batman Smell, Robert Lee, it was like a classic.
And it came on at the same time as the Cosby Show. I don't know if people remember that, but like that was like a hard choice. Like Cosby had been like what brought our family together, and then at some point we looked up and we were like, man, Cosby Show ain't that funny anymore. Cosby Show got real serious, and yet there was this other show on Fox that like made us laugh. So like towards the very end of the Cosby Show, like when they were doing like half-hour episodes, The Real Spellman, we were flipping over and watching The Simpsons.
Man, The Simpsons and look, we'll stop. I could talk about The Simpsons all day.
I was about to say, Simpsons. I've seen one episode. Happy birthday, Lisa. Shout out Michael Jackson. That's my episode.
Wow.
Yeah. That didn't bring me in nowhere to be good.
I'd actually make the case. I think seasons 4 through 8 of The Simpsons should be required viewing to anybody in comedy because, like, they just hit a stride. Like, they hit a moment for 4 straight seasons that are amazing.
4 through 8.
4 through 8.
Okay.
The Halloween specials. You know what's funny?
Treehouse of Terror.
When you think about anybody that's a writer, I tell people this all the time. My sense of humor was built. It's certain things. The Simpsons is one thing. Eddie Murphy was another.
Eddie Murphy.
Best
SNL.
And then, well, that group with Chris Farley and them too, and Adam Sandler, that was a
Phil
fun.
Hartman.
Oh, that was.
I think Phil Hartman's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, non-Eddie Murphy member of the SNL cast. But I remember the first time I ever cried from laughter, and it was definitely the best of Eddie Murphy SNL, and it was specifically the Fifth Beatle sketch. Nothing made me laugh harder than that sketch. Like, I was in tears. They're like, hey, Paul, let's kick Clarence out of the group. It's good old days. Like, that shit made me laugh so hard.
Those recordings were so funny.
They were so funny. And I also think the Black Awareness rally of Coming to America. That scene specifically, it informs like so much of what I try to do to this day.
Miss Black Awareness rally. It's so fun. And then when you think, because it was so many things happening, right? We saw.
Why is there a Black Awareness rally? Like, there's so many subtle jokes.
But also, it's a Miss Black Awareness rally. So it's about Black awareness, but also they decided to
like, make it a beauty pageant.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking the other day just about a joke that I feel like doesn't get enough mentions. Like, when he starts getting long-winded and boring and everybody just starts shifting in their seats, like that, I mean, like, I don't even know how you get that joke. I was like, were they just filming the extras and they just saw that happen in real time and they were like, let's put this in the movie? Like, I want to know the background on that joke. Like, for real. I was just thinking, I was like, where did they get that? How did they know to even film that? I don't think that was in the script.
Right, they didn't tell them to do that. Yeah.
No, for
that's
real.
natural. Yeah.
That's one of those jokes that you just like, they must have been in editing. By the way, I heard Eddie Murphy got into a fist fight with John Landis while they were editing that movie.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Like a straight up fist fight in the parking lot because Eddie thought he was fucking it up. You know, and I do think that, like, even though John...
I wonder what Eddie had on when he did it. He's like, you know something? Come on. No. Somebody hold my jacket. Cookie, hold my jacket.
I mean, first off, I don't know how you get into a fist fight with... I feel like I've never had that kind of collaboration with people where it got, like, really hot and heavy and, like, just... You know, cats were ready to scrap.
Unfortunately,
you're like, I know how that happens.
Real?
We're the director, actually, which is kind of crazy. We was about to, we didn't get to that
Speak
point,
on it.
but we had got close to it. It was I don't care.
Uh-oh.
We was doing Mad Families, the movie I did with Charlie Sheen, and I'm being honest. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
This director tried to tell me what black people say, and he's a tall white man that like dirt and whiskey. And I was like,
We barely fuck with Dirk Nowitzki.
bro, he tried to
Dude,
tell,
it just looked like him. Just kidding.
but then he said, I noticed because I have black friends. He said all the wrong shit.
Wow, oh, man.
So I knew I
that's
was
tough.
still mic'd up. And the execs were there that, paid us to do the movie. So I started talking shit, and I know they can hear it. People still got their contacts on. They know, so I'm like, yeah, I can't believe he asked me to say something. I'm black. And I was like going in. So I sat in my chair. I started laughing because I ended up changing the line. And he ran up and down me on the chair like, don't you ever fucking do that again in front of the fucking execs. And I started laughing like, fam, get the fuck out my face.
He came at you.
Yo, he ran at me so aggressive. He was so fucking red in the face. I was like, you gonna have to steal on me, bro.
Wow.
But that didn't happen. He just
What year was that?
It's Mad Families. I don't know. It's fucking near Carmichael Show. Tiffany was in the movie. That's where I met my friend Naya Rivera for the first time, actually. So yeah, that was actually a fun movie to do. Fun cast, but that motherfucker, when he said that shit,
Yeah, you can't say that, man.
I don't. You see how comfortable I am. I don't even remember his name. The fuck you gonna tell me what a black person say because you have black friends? If you don't get the fuck away from me,
Yeah, that ain't how that work, big dog. What was he
like,
thinking?
you told the wrong nigga that because I'm about to talk hella shit.
I mean, I think we've been really fortunate, Bashir and I, in terms of like working with people who we actually just want to work with. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't really had to deal with any assholes. We always give a speech at the beginning of our film shoots, whether it's Sherman's or Southside, like, nobody should be yelling at anybody. I don't care what the department head thinks is necessary. Like, we just try to set it up where it's like a calm atmosphere. Now, there are times when people get upset with each other because that's inevitable. But, like, yelling is strongly discouraged. And I think that's led to, happy collaborations.
Y'all done so many, like, you and Bashir, like, your partnership is like, we don't see those often, right? Where you have these, like, two-person. I mean, we see them, but I don't even know if I've seen them enough in the African-American space, to be honest with you. Outside, like, the Lucas brothers, but they brothers.
Right, I was gonna say that too.
I've never thought of that before. That's actually really true. No, seriously. Like,
No,
most
it's
of the times,
thing.
like, Warren Hutcherson and, what was his brother's name? I forget. The Hutcherson brothers, like, the Hughes brothers, it's usually brothers. Me and Bashir, we just,
Dude,
known them for about 25 years, so.
So are y'all like real best friends, or y'all just work well together?
Man, you know what's interesting about that? Let's get deep with it.
Uh-oh.
We started off as like super tight friends. And then we started working together, and we've been working together for 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are definitely times when I'm like, I just want to be friends again. You know what I mean? But I have to see him every day. Man. We have to, like, talk out and debate jokes. And, like, when you have that strong business partnerships, there are definitely times when it's like, okay, it's the weekend. The last person I want to see is Bashir Salahuddin. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got time away from work. The last person who we want to take on vacation is Bashir and his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, it is interesting. I think about it a lot. I'm like, we would probably be tight friends if we did not have the business partnership. But because of the business partnership, I see him every day. So there you go.
Because it's like the same thing. You're collaborating with your friend. But that can happen where you be like, if you work with your friends too much, you're like, okay, good seeing you. You know what I mean? I love you, I appreciate you, but I need to fucking
Hey, listen. I've been at a restaurant and Bashir walks in. That's how much our personal schedules will be like on completely different planes. You know what I mean?
Speaking on both of y'all y'all from 2 different places. You're from Atlanta. He's from Chicago.
Men in college.
Quick shout out though, Bashir, Whitney Young, Mac in high school. You know what I'm saying? Chicago, Illinois. That's what we do. The illustrious Whitney Young.
I would say me and Bashir are kind of like Will Miles and Rob Hayes. Okay. Because Will Miles went to Whitney Young, Rob Hayes went to my high school, Mays High School. Shout out to Mays.
Wow.
And like,
shout out to Will.
They're the same age. Me and Bashir are basically the same age. Like, it's just like it's a lot of similarities there. Anyway.
So how growing up in the Southwest Atlanta influenced your career and your writing?
Southwest Atlanta, man, you had to be funny. You know what I mean? I was one of the kids. I was a valedictorian. I had big I had to be funny so as to not get picked on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that had a lot to do with it. So, I never really had to deal with bullies or people picking on me because I could make people laugh.
Yeah.
I come from a big family. We always say, you come from a big family, you're not eating if, you can't make your family laugh. You know what I'm saying?
You're one of six. One of six kids. Okay.
Basheer's one of 8.
Oh, wow.
So we know what that big, black family dinner table is like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So does that help? Like in the writer's room, you coming from a big family, your writing style, your writing team is like a family. I sit at a table like the family table.
Yeah,
right?
we literally set it up like a big dinner table. You know what I mean? And like, there are a few more white people at the table. We always hire one. Diversity.
They get invited to the picnic here.
Yeah, a little bit. What's awkward is when they're like typing and they're like, so the line needs to be hey nigga, we're like, move aside. We ain't gonna make you write that. Hold on.
They can't even type the word.
Well,
we actually started doing a thing where they just do in apostrophe or like in star, in asterisk. Anyway.
Oh, but let me ask you this too. 'Cause this actually, now that I think about it, when I had my show, I had to set the room up and all this other shit. What experience did you get from other writers' rooms that you worked in that you didn't run? Cool. That you're like, all right, this is what the fuck I'm gonna do differently?
Everything. Everything. I won't call it out, but the first room we were ever in, when we were the baby writers, there was one writer in there, and I think about him a lot. The head writer had this tendency to be like, oh, we're going to be here all day. Just put a joke in there and we'll fix it in the morning. Like, we used to think that was so funny because we're like, nobody's laughing at this joke that we're putting into the script. And yet this dude wants to get to the Lakers game or he wants to pick up his kid. I didn't have kids at that point, so I definitely didn't understand that part. And anytime I'm in the writer's room to this day and I'm thinking, we should just put something in there and fix it later, like, I don't allow myself to do that. I'll just sit there. We'll go late, because you can't. You shouldn't put it off. You just got to sit there and struggle with it, even if everybody's looking at each other for like half an hour, just blank. It's a long, serious process. When we outline our scripts, we actually outline them like dramas. Like, we don't try to put jokes in them. We outline them completely serious, completely grounded, and then we go back and then we figure out ways to make situations absurd or make the dialogue absurd. But like, it could be a painful process, and I think a lot of people don't realize that.
All right, y'all. Our next partner has a product that I literally use every day. I'm talking about AG1, Athletic Greens. Yo, I was tired of taking those vitamins and having to swallow the pills. Look, they put it all right here in this package right here. It is amazing. I have more energy. I'm able to work out. I love hiking, so this gives me that energy to do that as well. Hey, I feel so good, and it doesn't taste super healthy, whatever that means. People say, man, does it taste like medicine? No, it tastes like Athletic Greens. It tastes amazing, and I feel good, and I look forward to eating it every day. When I say eating it, I mean because one time I tried to put it in the water, and it didn't quite dissolve because I didn't know what I was doing, so I was eating it, but guess what? Same effects. Love it. AG1. Hey, so you ask, so what is this, you may ask? With one, I said just one, delicious scoop of AG1, you're observing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. There go that word again, y'all, adaptogens. But that helps you start your day off right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things, especially that aging. People don't want to age. Hey, this right here keeps you young. And guess what? It supports better sleep quality and recovery, which everyone needs. It supports mental clarity and alertness if you want to be great like me. And you can do it all for a low price, less than $3 a day. Hey, you put more than that on the bus. I don't even know if you take the bus, or definitely not the gas prices. They $6.39 in LA. I can't go nowhere. I'd rather have Athletic Greens, and I'll just walk. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. I have the travel packs right now, and I don't go anywhere without them. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/keepingitreal. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/keepingitreal to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. That's Athletic Greens, not Athletic Greenses.
I love that you said that too. I think most people fuck up with comedies by trying to throw the comedy in first and not the real in. It's easier to find the jokes when you make things realistic first.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, which I think that's what I love about you guys. Just work with y'all on Southside, and even the project we're collabing on now. Like it's like get it from that. Fucking write it from that. It's hard to explain that to people too. Cause they like, well, the jokes are like, fuck these jokes. What the fuck is the real part about this yet?
You know, the other thing that we really avoid is cliquishness. Like, a lot of rooms will be like, oh, well, you know, these people all laugh at each other's jokes, these people laugh at, but they don't laugh at each other's jokes. We were at Fallon, which is basically the same DNA as SNL, and like SNL, from what I've heard, is very cliquish. And we were like, we're not going to do that clique shit. Like, good ideas can come from anybody in this room. Y'all all earned the chance to be here. You know, we don't play favorites. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that there are a lot of things that we learned from rooms in the past where like there was viciousness or meanness or people just not listening to one another that we try to stay away from. And because there are two of us, two brains, like we can be very conscious of like, you know, the room. Like it's a two-headed beast, but we can definitely watch. We can even watch out for each other. We can be like, yo, you've been hard on so-and-so lately. You know, back off of that. You know what I mean?
Well, does that make it hard for you too? Like when you're on a series and you're just acting on it, right? You like,
Right.
do you know how to separate that mind from like I know I can make something better, but I can't because that's not the fucking job. Do you know how to do that? Have you had to do that?
You know, that's interesting. I think, well, first off, I'll say that, yes, we do act on our shows, but like sometimes I'm like, I don't need to be in this episode. You know what I mean? Like, that's like a big thing. There are definitely times when I'm like, I don't need to be in this episode, but, you know, like, I really want to write the funniest episode I can. Or, like, even the episode that we directed that you were in. Thank you so much. We won that NAACP award.
There you Congratulations on that.
Also, how do you win an NAACP award?
I don't know.
For you direct the episode, and like, and I ain't get nominated for Best Guest Star.
That's a great question.
We need answers.
That's fucking crazy.
That's crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know how these awards work.
NAACP, man. It's supposed to be about us.
First off, your name is antiquated.
That's hilarious.
There doesn't need to be any colored people mentioned. Your name is not advancing us. Look at yourself. You know what? I won the award. I can talk freely now. Because you know, if I had lost, I would have gone in.
But you know what's funny? They never say the name out loud like they used to.
No. No,
Nobody would have said colored people.
No, I mean that thing originated with W.B. Du Bois like 100-something years ago. So
W.B. Du Bois like, hey man, y'all still doing it? I mean, it looked like you got a progressives then. You can put another letter in there.
Colored people. Dang, that is crazy.
But no, man. I mean, like there is a discussion sometimes of like if you're gonna be in this episode, you won't direct it, or if you. Like every day is something different. One of the things I loved about being on Marlon was I was not a writer on it. You know what I mean? I just got to show up, have fun. You've been on a multicam. That to me, that is the greatest job in Hollywood. I loved it.
It is unless you're in charge of everything, right? So when I did Carmichael's show, it was easy. I was like, have fun, read the script, get my check and go home. When I had to do Rel, it was like, oh. That's when and it's funny, I brought the writer's room to you. I realized how much, you kind of don't have a life for that season. Like, especially if you do everything. Like, not just take the credit, you actually involved in everything. Yeah. And so it was like, oh, shit, this is really, I think for me, it was, after I was done where I was able to really think about, like, damn, that was tough. I didn't realize how much I had to fucking commit to everything. Because they ask you every little thing. Mm-hmm. Like, is these tablecloths good? Should they eat this?
And you know what's interesting about that is that, like, that sounds like a great problem to have, but there's sometimes where you just don't actually care what the napkins look like. I mean, like, that's what I find interesting. Like, I feel like it's a certain personality, like the kind of people who do care about every single minor detail. And I've met people like that. But there are definitely times where I'm like, man, we put that in the script, and now I have people coming to me like, well, you guys said there was a camouflage netting on the wall. I'm like, yeah, we said that, but it wasn't that important to us. That's when you feel like, oh man, like it's with great power comes great responsibility.
Mm-hmm. You guys are great collaborators, though, and I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy working with y'all. Like, I think that's one of the most underrated things in our business is the collaboration process. Because sometimes, you will meet people that's anal about everything. Mm-hmm. Their words, their everything. Like, hey, this is exactly what you have to say. Don't you add your personality or whatever you did. Like, damn, all right.
Wes Anderson does every take something like 30 times. Wow. 30 takes, because he wants the actors to say it exactly the way he sees it in his brain, We don't work like that, obviously. We do Southside. I would say most scenes of Southside, we do 4 takes. We do one to get the script, second one to get the script clean, and then we do 2 completely improv takes and just see where it goes in general. And
I think that's how you gain the trust of your actors.
Yeah. I feel like we're a very actor-friendly duo because, Bashir's been acting since he was 18. I didn't start till I was like mid-20s. But like I feel like we've always gone out of our way to make our actors comfortable, feel like it's a safe space to try stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait till I get the cameo on Southside. I've been talking about it every episode. So man, I got Diallo here.
I don't give him no cameo.
I'm just saying, it just sounds so good, man.
Everybody who's from Chicago will eventually be on Southside.
Well, there we go.
It's gonna be like Law and Order for New York actors.
It's even more than it's not even just actors. Like literally everybody. Whatever rappers, like random niggas that live in certain neighborhoods.
We threw a bus driver in a scene. Because he was making us laugh when we were on the bus. We were like, hey man. Just put the camera on him.
That is hilarious. Well, there it is. Forget it. Hey, back to this, man. Adventures of Royce Riddle. Your first published book.
Where did you get this info?
I'm great, man. I've got your first.
This isn't just like stuff that you just find like on, a random search. This is like deep stuff.
It's one of those weird, uncomfortable searches where like when you watch people like start learning what their background or their family come from. That's the type of energy Wayne
dude is like, so 323-777. How'd you get that number?
The movie Glory is based off him. I'm like, damn.
Put me on a show, but how about this first book,
Royce Riddle was the first character that I ever wrote. Mm-hmm. I was really into World War II growing up for whatever reason. I was really into history, for whatever reason. And I wrote the story about a black spy in World War II. I never addressed how he was able to infiltrate the Nazis
in elementary school.
I never went into like detail, but he was. I like James Bond, and I was Royce Riddle. That was my first character. I wrote it in 3rd grade. It was about a 50 typed out pages. and turned it into my teacher, and they bound it and put it in the school library. So as far as I was concerned, I was published.
So you were. Go ahead.
Why wouldn't you do? Like, you should do that. Like, that should. You should still, because when you
I
think
have
about
it somewhere.
But
Somewhere
that's-
I have that book still bound.
just start it from there. Like Star Wars, when you think about it, started. It didn't. It started where it started. Mm-hmm. You know, we didn't get all the backstory till much later, right? Like, it started exactly where it started. Like, it's okay to you can start anything. I don't know. Have we ever seen a James Bond backstory?
We need
No,
that. We need that.
Not really.
It just kept
I'll
going
tell you,
forward, right?
what movie was that? Spectre, or the one where he went to the castle? And they actually tried to give some backstory, and I was like, I don't really need the backstory.
Not no more. It's like 15.
It's like too much stuff.
Like, you gotta have 15 James Bonds by now. I was like, okay, who cares?
What's interesting is, like, now my kids are like older than third grade. I can't see them writing a book. I feel like I'm failing as a father. Like, I can't see my kids writing a 50-page book. Like, I'm like, what made me write that book?
You did write.
Man.
That's kind of insane to do as a kid. I wrote a book called Peter and the Magic Sword, and it was 10 pages.
What? 10 pages?
Peter and the
10
Magic
pages.
Sword?
How old
Peter
were
and the
you?
Magic Sword. I was in 4th grade.
Okay.
And I actually went far in a contest because it was like a state contest and city contest.
What was it about?
Peter and the Magic Sword. I mean, this thing, you know, it's
I mean, it's a good title because it tells me a lot.
But my dad drew the illustrations to it. And
Oh, that's great.
It
That's
was
dope.
basically, what's the dude, the Excalibur guy? King Arthur. It was just a black version. Like, my daddy drew a young man with bell bottoms on and a shirt.
So it kind of look
And
like this.
he took a sword out the rock.
His name was Peter.
Name was Peter.
Peter.
Peter the Magic Sword. That's really, I mean, it could have been a lot of plagiarism problems with what I did. But
Oh, I didn't even say this.
we made it all in the hood.
My
That's all it was.
very first book in kindergarten was called The True Book of Dinosaurs. And I remember it because I underlined the word true. Like, somehow I got in my head like the other books were full of lies, but this was The True Book of Dinosaurs. And rampant plagiarism. I just copied my favorite lines out of all my favorite dinosaur books and compiled it and put like construction paper over it. But like that, you know, I think I've been trying to tell stories from the very beginning.
Wow.
You know,
That's crazy talking about imagination and where it starts. Like did you?
my kids
you
are
said the
playing like
Muppets, right?
Roblox and
Right.
Minecraft. I'm like, all these hours. I think that's why they're not writing these books, and it's driving me crazy. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I think about as a father now. Like, I'm just like,
Well, that's
what am
dope
I doing?
too, though.
I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
But
man.
then this thing about with the Roblox, right? And I think about this all the time. It's showing architecture. It was things
Yeah.
I didn't even think about, like
Yeah.
making a home and putting
Right.
furniture.
My
in
kid
it.
just built a amusement park, and he's put a lot of effort into a roller coaster called King Kong, and he showed it to me this morning. I was like, "This is a great roller coaster." You know,
Yeah.
so like, yes,
Brother, all we had was crayons and paper.
we would draw a roller coaster.
If I had Roblox, I probably would be doing this, to be honest with you. I'd be a set decorator.
Or you'd be a coder. I send my kids to coder camp. I'm like, you know,
Is that a thing?
oh yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Coding.
I didn't know that. But it's a camp for it.
it's a camp for it. It's a sleepaway camp.
Yeah.
And they code. You know what I mean? Like,
What the fuck?
yeah.
What type of spot camp?
They're also going to Clippers camp too,
Oh.
where they get to play on the Clippers
My kids go
Clippers
to
facility.
they go to a camp called Camp Wild Folk. And they just do a lot of regular shit. And for you just to say all that, I feel terrible as a father.
Well, now we know. That's what we're here. We're here to keep it
My
real
dad
and
used to
learn.
be a camp counselor for like troubled youth. It was called Camp Best Friends. And he used to come over and be like, "Man, they should call that place Camp Worst Enemies." He's like, "They always fighting."
I'm gonna tell you, I was a camp counselor. So I went to camp before, and so there's 2 camp stories. First one is, I went to a school called Providence St. Mel, black private school in Chicago. They used to send us to camps in the summers, and me and my classmate would be like the only black kids. So like, I used to go to like summer camp. Like it was almost like I dropped in the episode of like Saved by the Bell. Like, and like I had like an enemy, and I didn't know. It was like so funny to me. Like, wait a minute, Shane Overby don't like me. Why? I just got here because I know how to play basketball a little bit. like yeah, Shane's pissed off that you got all the friends. I'm not even trying to take shit over. But it was funny, like experiencing that was so much fun. And then I had to be a counselor when I was like 19. And it was for all the hood kids, right? And I tried to give them all the fun shit I did. The biggest was them. They was like, man, they were mean. They was roasting me and throwing shit. They wouldn't go to sleep.
They're like, Shane was right about you.
But this thing about it, you ever try to give like a mean, uplifting speech at the same time? Like I got so fucking bad. Like, look, man, we're doing this for y'all. We're taking you out the fucking neighborhood so you won't join gangs. So you can be somebody. But you motherfuckers, Don't give a fuck about that shit. Now go to fucking bed. We're going skiing in the morning. Shit.
Not being a gang so you can do somebody.
They're like, oh, remember the Titans, motherfucker. This ain't your big speech. This ain't your moment.
That's what it was. As soon as it got a little quiet, somebody said, man, you take your ass to bed. Sleepy as hell.
Lights out.
Lights out.
That's messed up, too. When you try to help the kids, you end up cursing them out. It's like, motherfucker, I'm doing this for you. I don't need this shit.
I could be home.
When I went to Cal, I was the only black kid there. You know how the fuck that feels? I didn't know what Umbro shorts was. And I wore Nike shorts. They said those were shit because everybody wore Umbros.
Umbros.
I still don't know what the fuck they are.
Our parents had to march so you could even come to this camp. People caught bricks so you could be here.
You know how many white people ass had to kick to raise money for this shit? Just to get on this fucking yellow bus that's hot as fuck?
Minimum wage, too, right?
Man, I don't know what they paid me. It wasn't shit. But that was funny. That's probably the most stressed out I ever was. I was like, yo, I'm not doing this shit again.
Bashir tried to be a substitute teacher, and he was like, this is not worth it. He was like, this is really not worth it. He said the day that some kid set a desk on fire, he was like, I'm done.
What was
I'm
this
never
at?
doing
In
this
Chicago?
again. No, this is in L.A.
Oh.
But I'm going to say something
like-
funny. But you always get at the end of it. You get like one kid to do something real nice, but it's like a trick. He's like, I know we gave you a hard time, but we really appreciate you. Goofy motherfucker. Like, all right, damn. Motherfucker, trick me.
So y'all went to Harvard. He didn't go to be a substitute teacher. What was his major in school?
He was a gov major. He was government.
I
You know, that's the thing that
I
people
can
don't really
see
talk about. Like when you get to Harvard, coming from the kind of backgrounds we came from.
Wait, did you
like,
have a scholarship?
everybody's
Did you have a scholarship to Harvard?
not really. No. I remember Dad struggled to pay that bill every. Like Harvard doesn't give out a lot of money. At least they didn't back then.
And you went for history.
Huh?
You went for history?
I was history. Yeah.
Okay.
I started off economics, but I was getting crushed by the econometrics and the math of it.
Yeah.
But
sure.
if you got into Harvard, you had to be accepted by a lot of colleges.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, like, my grandfather played at USC, he played football, and I thought that was going to be like an easy in. But they didn't offer any Pell Grant scholarship, like nothing.
Wow.
Harvard offered a little bit. So, we went there, and I always say that, like, when you come from the kind of backgrounds we come from and you make it into Harvard, everybody's like, oh man, you're gonna be rich. You're gonna have the world open to you. And when we graduated, both me and Bashir, like, we kind of moved out here the same as everybody else. Like, he was working tables, I was DJing for a living.
Oh wow.
It was like it was lean times, and like, you go back home and people would be like, oh man, you a millionaire yet? Like you just had to be like, oh man, getting there.
From history in Harvard to Hollywood, what made y'all pick
Man,
Hollywood?
I'll tell you what, man. I graduated from Harvard. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. You know what I mean? Like, I made a decision about the age of 25 to be doing what I'm doing now, but like, I didn't know as late as 21. You know what I mean? I always thought I was going to go to Harvard. I had the same impression. I thought I was going to go there, I thought I was going to become a stockbroker, because that's what you do if you make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, it took some time, and I always tell my son, because I feel like he's got different interests. My oldest son, I got 3, but he's got different interests every year, and I'm like, it's okay to have different interests because I didn't decide what I was going to do until well into my 20s. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's interesting too. Like, 'cause when you say, like, when people think Harvard, like, are you gonna be a millionaire? Like, what colleges do people think, like, oh, you ain't gonna be shit? That you go to, like, I wonder what college, like, oh, you went to Malcolm X College. Good luck.
Good luck.
Like, you know what I mean?
You went to Xavier, man. Forget you.
You went to Xavier.
No, but seriously, like, everybody in my family went, different places. My sister went to Spelman. My brother went to University of Chicago. Like, we all went to different places, and we all ended up doing things that we did not major in. That's the other conversation. It's like I got back from my reunion just last weekend, and I would say only about half of the people ended up doing what they thought they were going to. Because you think about it, like when you're 18, you don't know what you want to do with your life. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing to me the people who knew what they wanted to do. I was roommates with Ryan Leslie, the hip-hop producer. Yeah. Wow. And Ryan knew, like, from the time he showed up, he was actually younger than us. He was 17 when he showed up at Harvard. And, he already had his keyboard. He was already, like, recording music, showing up at every coffee house he could show up at, singing. I always admire is not the right word, but like I would have loved to have known back then what I was going to end up doing because I would have started earlier. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I was going to ask, did he inspire you at all? Because like you say, he was there, 17.
I mean, he was inspiring to all of us. We all thought we were going to be music producers because he had so much energy in that field. Yeah. I remember his grades were garbage. Like, he got to Harvard and he was immediately like, music's my thing. I even asked him at the time, I was like, well, like, dance music's taking off. For whatever reason, I've always been into dance music. I'm like, dance music's taking off. You want to do dance music? He's like, no, I'm strictly R&B and hip-hop. R&B and hip-hop. Like, he just, straight ahead.
He's brilliant. Like, one of my favorite YouTube videos is watching him construct a fucking song.
Yeah. I remember
that
video.
From the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And, it was interesting about that, too, because when did I start comedy? I was 19.
19.
So I knew that shit. I'm like, fuck it. And I think it's even doper though when you don't know.
Right? Oh, I can't agree more. I think about our rooming group. It was me, Bashir, Ryan Leslie, and this dude named Mark. And probably 2 or 3 years after, and Mark's my guy. Like that sounded like a joke.
Sounded like Ryan Leslie and Mark.
But about 2 or 3 years after we graduated, like nothing was popping for any of us but Mark. Because Mark went into finance and Mark had like money and stuff, and we were all just like, "Damn, Mark is balling." But like, I'm happy that we took that time after we graduated to figure out what we wanted to do. Yeah. And in Ryan's case, like I said, he knew what he wanted to do, but like he didn't have anything. Like he was still living in. I don't think he cares about me telling the story. Like he was still like sleeping on people's couches, like trying to get beats pop off, and then eventually just he hooked up with I think it was Darkchild. But, eventually he finally got that big break. He finally got the chance.
Well, that's another thing, too, that's underrated about y'all is y'all music. Like, y'all very musical guys.
I mean, we met in a singing group. We've always been into music. I was DJing.
A gospel singing group.
A gospel singing group. But we split it off. We took 2 other dudes from that group and formed a secular group called Brothers. And Brothers, we would sing like Shy and Jodeci.
Wait,
so y'all went from singing gospel, and it's like, yo, fuck this. And then
just singing "If I Ever Fall in Love."
Hey, hold on, now
I'm coming up. Here we go. And if
that's hilarious. But it actually speaks to something that I saw, man. How did this happen? Drop It Low for Jesus.
Oh, that song came from Bashir's little sister, Zuri. Apparently, she had been singing that song to make her grandmother laugh for a long time. And so the first day in the Sherman Showcase room, she was like, I have a song I did called Drop It Low for Jesus. And Sherman Showcase actually comes from our time at Fallon because me and Bashir would always sit down and hang out with Quest like during show tapings. And we would just laugh about like, yo, do you think there was like, it'd be random conversations like, do you think that Rihanna's getting any song? Do you think the Sierra is getting any songs that weren't shot to Rihanna first? You know what I mean? Like we would just be talking about like music, like old music, new music, and we were like, oh, so let's do a show where all those funny conversations we have about music end up being the show.
Oh, wow, on the screen.
Well,
I was like, okay.
Because we almost skipping some in the way.
Okay.
Sherman Showcase is basically a version of Soul Train, or it was another show that was on. I saw the documentary about recently that before Soul Train. It was like a lot more serious.
I know what you're talking about.
It's called Soul
Search.
No, Soul Search. What the fuck you talking about?
That made up a show.
Yeah, like that.
All right, my bad.
But I know what show you're talking about. I've seen the trailer for that documentary.
It is really good because it was like you needed both of those shows. Like, it was very interesting. But Sherman Showcase is so funny to me because y'all have these original fucking songs. Y'all making these characters like the Vic Mensa Prince version, whatever version of that was so fucking funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, like Fonte Coleman from the group Little Brother hit me up, and he was like, "Yo, y'all should have Vic Mensa come on and do Prince because he has an amazing Prince impression." So we hit up Vic, didn't know him from anybody, And Vic was completely down. I mean, like, again, I feel like that show, even more than just being Soul Train, it's our opportunity to do everything.
No, it's
we do like Indiana Jones shit.
I did the sketch, the New Jack City sketch.
Yeah, that was great. with your boy Mario Van Peebles.
Mario Van Peebles is such a like.
We were supposed to have Judd Nelson in the scene too, but he pulled out at the last second.
But this is what I'm going to say. Mario Van Peebles, we rehearsed in his car. Like, he wanted to go the line. And I was like, okay. You know what I mean? I was in the trailer. He's like, yeah, you want to go over the line to my car? And I was like, sure. And when
Mario's a cool dude.
But he was listening to, like, some political show on the radio that, people don't I don't know what. So before we started the line, like, yeah, let me finish this up. Who you voting for? I'm like, what? But then we started, that's a true story. But shout out to Mario Van. I thought that was cool and humbling. Like, I'm like, you want to run lines, man?
Mario's a cool dude. He's definitely down to play. We always call through the people who are just down to come through. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Quincy Jones was down, Common was down, Haddish, everybody who's come through that show. We really appreciate, because we don't have a lot of money. As you know, that show ain't making anybody rich. But it's definitely a show that we enjoy doing because we can do anything on it. Yeah. If we're like, oh, let's do our version of Aliens, we can do that. Yeah. We can slip that into the show.
I love the fact, even when I do stuff like that, and I'm a fan of the show at the same time, because I'm like that with Southside, right? Even though I've done it, I enjoy watching the the season 2 premiere episode is one of my favorite premiere episodes ever.
That's the Omaha Steaks.
Omaha Steaks. But it's more or less about the kidnapping shit.
Yeah.
That shit was so intense and so fucking funny. It did, because I didn't know where the fuck that was going. I was like, yo, I watched the episode maybe like 5 times straight.
Again, we spent a lot of time on just the plot, just to make the plot interesting. And then we go back and try and make it funny. So that means a lot. I appreciate the fact that,
All right, y'all. The temperatures aren't the only thing rising this summer. That's right. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, confidence can take you far in life. It can also help in the bedroom, especially when it comes time to step up to the plate. That's where Blue Chew comes in. Now, Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. But in chewable tablets, and at a fraction of the cost. Listen, you could take them anytime, day or night. So, just plan ahead or be ready whenever the opportunity arises. You know what I'm saying? The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers first, though. And once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online. So no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in the line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. That's what I said. Shh, your package will be all right. Both packages. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code Rel at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping, just $5. That's BlueChew.com, promo code Rel to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
And I feel like with Southside, like people are starting to discover it. Like when we were on Comedy Central, I feel like nobody knew about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I popped up on Insecure for like 5 minutes and got way more, texts and messages from people than a whole season of Southside. But then when we went to HBO Max during the pandemic, everybody, it felt like we hit a different. So I'm excited to go back to Chicago this summer and shoot the new season.
Me too.
I feel like the city understands what.
We're gonna
make it happen, Wayne. We're gonna make it happen.
I don't know if Wayne can act. You was good in the McDonald's commercial.
Yeah, appreciate that.
But then you play a host.
Okay, but
you play what you do.
But I did go to Second City Improv. But shout out to my man Chris Red. He was the hardest working person there. I got my job.
That nigga on SNL.
Okay.
You on my fucking podcast with me.
I decided to go host. I saw a lucrative business hosting.
I'm with you.
We gotta get Wayne on the show.
We'll figure it out.
Because this thing about it also too, like, and I gotta ask this too.
There are a lot of people. I feel like we have not gotten on Southside yet. I'm trying to figure out a way to get them on the show.
But they'll do it. When Chance hit me up, I was shooting my episode. And Chance was like, yo, I love this show. And I told him, like, yo, Chance, love the show. You want to be on the show. They figured that shit the fuck out fast as hell.
And gave him a good part.
And it was it's such a funny episode.
Gave him a good part.
And
And by the way, not the part that we pitched to him. We pitched him a totally different part, and he was like, "Yeah, that's cool. You know, I really want to play this hating ass nigga."
You sound just like him, yeah. Shout out Chance the rapper,
I was like,
man.
"All right, cool." And I remember the day that we shot, he was like dreadfully sick. Like it was just like, oh well, you know what? We actually had Bashir's brother, Ish, who's one of our directors. We had him actually run the scene because we were getting ready to shoot, and then we got a call. Oh, Chance is like a couple of blocks away. So we were like, all right, Ish, get out that outfit, get out that costume. But yeah, no, he came through. He came through.
He called me.
We're bringing him back for season 3. Bring you back for season 3 if we can make the schedule work.
I'm coming. Hopefully I can. I'd like.
That sounds like a no.
I'm coming. Hopefully I can.
Hopefully I can.
I was
make
just
it
thinking
work.
about that the other day. Like, all right, because I've been asked, like, what's the dates? Because you know.
No, we know you busy, man.
Shoobity double.
She double. But this is what I wanted to say with Southside is, you guys pulled off an office style show, right? I think that's what makes it stand out. I don't know if we've ever seen that, honestly, from our culture, from the black culture perspective, to do a show like that. To actually have the freedom to do a show like that.
People bring up The Office a lot with that show, but truthfully, the show that we were trying to emulate when we first came up with it was Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, okay.
In fact, we even said this is Trailer Park Boys on the South Side of Chicago. And
It meets everything, though, because it's that. I bring up The Office, even like Parks and Rec and the way those things were done. Like,
I feel like it's eventually become sort of coming to America for us because we go out of our way to show not just like what you expect from the South Side, but we try to show like rich and poor and like intellectual and not intellectual.
You did a Ferris
We
Bueller
did Ferris
episode.
Bueller, yeah. Yeah, we did it, at a different
black
museum.
women.
Yeah, with black women. Yeah.
Oh.
That shit was fucking hysterical.
And fun fact, the guy who plays the valet who steals the car in that episode is the son of the actor who stole the car in Ferris Bueller. Like that's a deep cut.
Oh, but they went deep, man.
Did y'all go find him?
It happened by accident. We were looking at stuntmen because he's got to fall out of the car, and it just by happening, he was like, by the way, my dad is the guy who stole the car in Ferris Bueller. We were like, oh, this is perfect. Like, this could not have happened anymore. This is serendipitous.
You're hired.
Exactly.
This is the thing about it, like, and I don't want to keep focusing on Southside, but I can because it's
let's talk
one of
about
my favorite fucking shows.
We're in the room right now, so Southside is front and center in my brain too.
So how do y'all do that, right? Because season 1 and season 2 is, to me, so different.
Yeah.
Is season 3...
We tried to build out the universe of Southside. So season 1, it was really like Rent to Own and Simon and Kay.
Right.
And season 2, we were like, you know what? We're going to use the whole city. We actually referred to The Simpsons. We were like, The Simpsons is Springfield. The Southside is our Springfield. We got to have, Angus and Mr. Burns and we were like, let's just make the world bigger. So that's why. And we went into it thinking like, damn, it's gonna suck if everybody's like, yeah, first season was cool, but second season I'm just all right. I read all the reviews, which you're not supposed to do. You're never supposed to read the reviews. I read all not one person said, oh, season 2 doesn't go, is not as good as season 1. So at that point I was like, sweet, we good.
Let's talk about Brothers in Atlanta and how what happened there, and now that's Southside, or is that? Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go to a sad place now.
That's what I'm saying. Wayne don't give a fuck, man. It's like...
I mean, like, look, I'm from Atlanta. We had a show that was going to be in Atlanta, and there was one exec at HBO who just didn't really believe in us. You got to realize we developed that show from late 2011 until 2016.
Wow,
sounds like 5 years. It was really 4 and some change, but it was a long time coming. We shot 2 pilots. The whole time we're telling them Atlanta's a place that you got to have this show. You got to have this show. And then Donald's show came out, and that was like the death knell because they felt like you couldn't have 2 black shows based in Atlanta.
Right.
That's when you run across the racism in this industry because no way an executive would kill shows because our show was nothing like Atlanta. Like I love Atlanta. Right. I've known Donald since 2007.
It was a different show.
It's a Donald Glover production. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like our show would have been like Southside except set in Atlanta. In fact, we used one of our ideas from that old show on Southside. The idea that the number 1 party promoter died. That originally started off in our Atlanta show.
Wow.
you know, it's just like no white exec would ever say, "Oh, we can't have 2 shows in New York with white people." You know what I'm saying? Like that conversation would never take place.
Never.
So we knew the second he debuted his show, we were like, man, I bet you HBO about to pull the plug, and they did.
Damn.
You know, thankfully that guy's not at HBO anymore.
Oh, okay.
And ironically, we are with Southside.
Right.
So, you know, we just took a very circuitous route to get where we were.
That's always so weird to me too, right? Because like in New York, it's damn near every show on television could be based in New York.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
CBS
true.
can have their cop shows in New
Yep.
York. Like NBC can have their cop shows. Like it's, and so that's how you knew that was a very specific dumb note.
Mm-hmm.
That like
Well, we got so many dumb notes on that project. I'll tell you the worst note we ever got. The worst note we ever got. We turned in a script. We had a whole episode that was like Strangers on a Train. Do y'all know that movie? Strangers on a Train. It's an old, you know, Hitchcock movie. Anyway, but it took place in a black mall. And I think everybody in this room knows what a black mall is. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was the mall. White people used to shop there. And then at some point, it became a black neighborhood. It became a black mall. And I'll never forget, we got a note like, okay, guys, we said we wanted to be really grounded. We were like, okay, yeah, what's the problem? He was like, is there really such a thing as a black mall? And we were like, yeah, motherfucker. You know, at the time we were like, do you know what Fox Hills is? They hadn't made it Westfield yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how long ago we were developing that show. But like, you know, the idea, the audacity, you know what I mean? Like, we had a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the fact that it had 3 Foot Lockers, the fact that it had like the kiosks selling cell phones. Like, we built this world inside a black mall for that one episode. And to this day, it kind of hurts my heart because everybody who's ever grown up in a black neighborhood knows what that is. You know what I mean? And we, you know, to this day, I kind of still want to do an episode that's shot entirely inside the black mall, you know.
You should.
Like one of the places is just a barbershop. You know what I mean? Like
Evergreen
you know.
Plaza in Chicago.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Could easily be.
Greenbrier Mall in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
It's a real thing.
It's a real
I still
thing,
go to
man.
malls, too, and especially in Atlanta, because my kids live out there. So
Trying to explain the joke, trying to explain the culture to people, that's not time that I want to spend doing that. You know what I'm saying?
nobody else
Like,
is asked to do that shit.
No. And by the way, this is like the mid-20 teens. So like nowadays, I feel like that executive would probably not. I mean, I don't know where I don't even think he has a job anymore. I don't think he's in the industry. But I feel like nowadays they probably wouldn't be like quizzing us on that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like nowadays I can go in there and say, hey, this thing is all about braids, and they'll be like, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but back then, like you just had to spend so much time trying to explain that you couldn't just focus on being funny, and that it breaks
tell
my
you
heart
something.
that show didn't happen.
It'd be like weird shit. I remember when I was doing Rel and trying to explain to them like it's okay that Jess changes her hair.
Mm.
I couldn't believe I had to have that conversation.
Yeah.
They're like, what? If she changed her hair from the one on the billboard, they ain't gonna. What the fuck are you talking about? First of all, black women change their hair all the time. And so it'll be unrealistic for me not to do that. But to have to explain that was so weird to me. It's like, is this what the fuck
Officer
this is?
Turner on Southside has a different wig every episode.
Sometimes in the episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's changing in that episode. I've seen her take the wig off.
She took the wig off and she had a wig underneath. They're like, wow, you got a lot of hair. I seem to remember you being bald. No, I think anytime you have to explain the joke, it's a fail. So, you know,
Not even just a
that
joke.
happens to black
You gotta
creators all the
You
time.
gotta explain regular cultural shit.
Yeah.
Just regular, normal, everyday shit. It's like, oh, okay, that's weird.
Brothers in Atlanta. You know what is cool, though? I feel like because Southside has been successful, we will get the chance to do an Atlanta
Absolutely.
show eventually.
That's what I was going to say.
And I feel like our Atlanta show is not going to be anything like Atlanta, and you can like both.
Yeah.
I think that's what Southside is too. I think it could be. I mean, even in Chicago, if you want to go to the West Side for
Yeah.
a season, like you can. I think I said this to y'all, but like it's one of y'all. I don't know who the fuck I said it to. but it was just like, yo, y'all can go like.
The West
You can
Side.
do this anywhere. Like the way you've created the South Side and been able to do that for 2 seasons straight, and it doesn't feel like you're overdoing it or some weird shit. It's fucking dope because the brilliance of it is it's character driven, and I think that's where you guys are
Yeah,
smart.
and that's where we have different kinds of fun. Like Sherman's is more of a sketch show.
Right.
Southside is more character driven. And I do think that like now that I've had the chance to do both for 2 seasons, you know, that's what I really appreciate about Southside is that you can come back to characters over and over again. You know what I mean? Like That's not putting Sherman's down. Sherman's is my other baby, but like it is different. Like I feel like Sherman's is almost more like an art house movie where we get to like just do weird shit.
Yeah.
And then Southside, like because we have these characters, we actually do have to ground it. But we sneak weird shit into Southside all the time too.
I mean, look, I think about what Bishop has been from season 1 to season 2, right? It's just fucking interesting. But that's how open.
We just wrote the Bishop scenes yesterday, by the way.
Damn, I want to do that. I gotta
be in
come.
I'm like, you think he's gonna come?
Like Bishop now played by Jaleel White. God damn.
Bishop.
Terrence J is Bishop. Yeah, Bishop, you look a little different.
Man, Bishop, you gonna have to zoom in or something, man.
That's so funny.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, shit.
Oh, we gonna play a game, man.
Let's play a game,
You
man.
down,
All right,
you down
cool.
playing the game?
I'm down to play.
This game is this or that. And the first one I'm gonna go, man. We're gonna keep it going, man. Brothers in Atlanta or Southside?
Oh. I mean,
You said, oh, then you stopped.
Right. No. Oh.
this is a game where you choose.
Yeah,
Yes,
choose
so is
either
that.
or.
Yeah.
Southside.
Okay. Lemon pepper wet or wings with mild sauce?
Lemon pepper wet.
Nah, man, come on, man. Where you been?
I'm from Atlanta, man.
Where have you been in Chicago? For the
He
wings?
has hair.
Oh, I know Harold's. By the way, excellent choices.
Okay.
But the lemon pepper wings at Magic City are amazing.
I definitely.
And I definitely know people who will do a run to Magic City just for the wings.
I actually
Or
had.
at least that's what they say.
I did a gig there in December, and I definitely had the lemon pepper wings delivered to
I
me.
did too recently.
Yeah.
Way too much fun.
Yeah, I didn't go to the club though. I had them delivered to my job.
No, I was in there.
Okay, you was in the club. All
I
right.
was doing way too much.
Okay.
I think how you've been tipping so much. I was like, I gotta leave here. I just gave the stripper the whole money. Like I don't want to throw it on you. Just here you go. She's like, what? You don't want to throw it on me? Nope. Here you go. I just want to leave.
I hate it when you throw the money, but it kind of sticks together, so it doesn't look like you threw that much.
Oh, that-
You're like, damn, I didn't even get the thrill. Everybody back here thinking I'm cheap.
Man,
I threw 100, I swear.
Keep throwing these big ass ones.
yo, I'm gonna tell a story. I did that at V Live in Houston. I threw it up like I thought it was gonna spread, like my boys spread, and it just hit, boom, and it came down, boom, and I just walked off. It's on video too.
Like, who
I
you
had to-
throwing purses? You
Yo,
had a money purse.
I was so embarrassed, man, but it
I
happened.
noticed to the strip clubs, please, just wrinkle the ones a little bit. So that, we want that shit to fall
That's why
different.
you gotta get the ones they collected in net. Like, give me some of that net money. I don't want this fresh one in that little money machine.
I got a couple more, man. A day at Lake Lanier or Navy Pier?
I'm going to say Navy Pier.
Okay.
Even though my sister used to love going to Lake Lanier is just, it's kind of boring to me.
And Navy Pier is not. That is right.
Navy Pier be lit.
Yeah.
You're gonna see at least 4 all-white parties boarding boats.
On the boats just rolling around in circles.
Yeah.
So how many all-white parties going on today?
I'm noticing a trend here. This is all Atlanta versus Chicago.
Yeah, you see it.
So, you know.
So this next one is tough, man.
Okay.
Andre 3000
I knew this was, I was there's Outkast or what?
or Kanye West.
Oh, Andre. Hands down. I mean, I went to school with a goody mom.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, here's a funny story about being valedictorian. So I'm valedictorian. I go to a good college. I come out. I'm a PA on the Paramount lot. I'm literally carrying coffees one day across the lot, and a golf cart pulls up, and it's the goody mom because they were doing like a cameo on somebody's show. And CeeLo was like, "Hey man, it's Diallo Riddle. This nigga was the valedictorian."
Wow.
And I'm standing there with coffees like, I love y'all. I'm so happy for y'all's success. Let me go get these coffees over here before they get cold. That was a dark day. But I was happy to see him. I was legit happy to see him, even though they were clowning.
Hey, that's a valedictorian,
This
yeah.
nigga was valedictorian.
Carrying a coffee. But hey, that's how I go, man. You spending an afternoon in Hyde Park or Edgewood?
Hyde Park.
Easy.
Why am I in Edgewood?
Nigga, Edgewood is like The Wire.
It really is. That one was not hard. You're like,
Should I
a day
park right
on the bluff? I'm like, I want to be on the bluff. No. I love Atlanta. I'm not going to be on the bluff.
Edgewood is it's you know what's
I'm
funny?
old enough to remember Techwood. Yeah, I mean, these are places that are long gone, but that place is...
Edgewood is still there. Because
Yeah, no, I know
it's a
Edgewood's
Harem's
still there.
Chicken over there I like to go to.
Okay.
And it's like you go park, like, it's so many people helping you park. It's almost like they climbing on a car.
Yeah.
It's shit's scary as
That used to
fuck.
happen in clubs in Chicago.
Is that a
Back
good
up.
Harold's? Because you know not every Harold's is built the same.
Oh, that's a good Harold's, actually.
It's a good Harold.
I go to that one a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
Last one, man. Dominique Wilkins or Michael Jordan? He's torn.
Number 21.
Wow. Uh-oh, Real's face.
No, two things. Dominique is one of my favorite players of all time. Actually, he actually really is. You know, because you know when you a dark skinned kid, Dominique Wilkins, Mookie Blaylock, it was just certain just dark brothers.
Tyrone Hill.
I did not mention Tyrone Hill.
Oh,
I said Mookie Blaylock and Dominique and Mike. Those are my favorite.
Dominique, man, he ran Atlanta. When I was a kid,
Yeah.
like there was Club 21, like he was the man in every sense.
He's still so fucking cool. Like he's still legitimately cool. Like I went to a Hawks game. You know, when I was filming, I go to Hawks games, and he always comes to speak to show some love.
That's what's
That's
up.
great.
I'm like, damn, that's fucking. But I was so excited. It is one of those moments you have sometimes when somebody know who you is that you don't know. You don't even care if they know who you is. Like, look, I just want to speak to you. Like, hey, I'm a big fan. Like, no, I love your work, man. You funny, man. You funny. I was like, God damn it, Dominique Wilkins. You still call by their whole name?
You're not gonna call him Mr. Wilkins.
You ain't gonna just say
That
Dominique.
sounds like a neighbor.
Dominique Wilkins, man. Thank you.
That's
I
hilarious.
remember being very disappointed that he lost all those slam dunk competitions as a kid because that was our hometown hero, man.
That was tough, man.
That took the heart out. You know what I mean?
And they were really close. I mean, look, like, you know, there's only a few dunkers that we said. No, Dominique versus Mike.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon versus Zach LaVine. Those are only really real hardcore
I mean, did you
matchups.
watch this year?
No.
It was depressing. It was trash.
I think they got to start getting guys off the street. I'd rather just watch the niggas that just dunk all the time than the NBA. That really need the money.
Yeah, right.
Like, they be like, motherfucker, what?
There are actual stakes involved.
They gonna do some shit that's gonna hurt themselves.
Them Instagram dunkers going crazy right now.
For real, you like, we gonna give you $1 million. Go get your cousin Larry the big ass calves. All right, well, look, man, this was fucking fun, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for doing our podcast. We
It
excited
actually
about-
turned out a little more serious than I expected, but I think sometimes it's okay to go a little deep, have some real
think
conversation.
We surprise people with that. This is we really dive into some deep ass episodes of this podcast.
I appreciate that.
This might be the funniest one.
Now this is definitely the funniest one. We keep it. That's what we do. We keep it real.
We
Man.
keep it real. Like either it's gonna be hilarious or very truthful.
Or
When I
both.
go to my podcast, I'm like, I want truthfulness. I want poignancy and truthfulness.
Yes, sir.
Well, look,
I
thank
had
you
a
for keeping
great
it
time.
real.
Thank you so
for
much.
coming, man. All right, yeah, that was another great episode of Keeping It Real with.
Young Wayne.
Hey, Diallo, you was amazing. You were here, and we'd love to have you back someday if I do 40 more episodes.
See you on the South Side, Diallo. See you on the South Side.
I'll be out there all summer.
My dog.
That was a Headgum podcast.